Hello, hi friends, welcome back to our channel Total QA. So in our channel, we posted recently multiple videos and categorized into different playlists. Please try to go through them and get the required knowledge. So now let's get into today's topic. So today's topic is day 2, that is array. So before getting into day 2, please try to complete day 1. We discussed about Java introduction, execution flow, variables, data types, conditional statements, and examples. And also we have provided the day 1 video link. You will find the link here, and also GitHub repository link where you will find the information for the material what we are discussing in each and every class, and also you will find the programs as well. So let me open the GitHub repository. So this is the GitHub repository, github.com Selenium Java tutorial. This is the direct link. In that you will find Java tutorial day 1. In the tutorial day 1, you will find the notes, what we discussed on daily basis. Suppose the day 1 notes, when you click on it, you will find what we discussed in day 1. Similarly, what are we discussing on day 2 also will be uploaded. And also for practicing all the programs also uploaded for your practice as well. Please download them and try to practice these programs as well. So let's get into today's topic, that is for day 2, arrays. So the agenda for day 2 is mainly arrays. In arrays, we are going to cover what is the definition of an array, how do we declare an array, how do we initialize an array, and what is the syntax of an array. And also, in addition to that, we will learn about what is one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, and also some of the examples of arrays. So first thing, what is an array? Let's get into the definition of an array. An array is a data structure useful to store multiple values of similar data type. In the last class, we discussed about data types. There are totally 8 data types in Java. Array is a data structure useful to store multiple values. Suppose, for example, I wanted to store 5 integers, 5 float, 5 double, 5 char, 5 Boolean values. I will go for arrays. Okay, so what is the syntax of an array? The syntax of an array is, it's a data type. Right now we are mentioning here is integer. The array name, you can give any array name saying as employee, student, marks, and square brackets, equal to new. New is mainly for memory management. So if you want to allocate some memory, we have to use new. Integer, it's a data type. Square brackets, within the square brackets, we have to provide the value of array, the size of the array. We have to mention say 5, 4, or 6 or 10 accordingly based upon the number of elements we're going to store. Okay, and how do we declare an array? This is one line of statement, but if you want to break it down, I can declare an array like this: int arr, and I can put square brackets, and I can initialize the array in the second line of statement like this: arr is equal to new int 5. But if you just declare an array, the memory will not be allocated here. If you initialize an array, then only the memory will be allocated. And also in the case of array, the size, this we call as size. The size is 5. The size is 5. Size is mandatory in the case of arrays. So let's get into first thing. There are two types of arrays right now. First, let's get into the single dimensional array. And let's see how the representation will happen internally for a one-dimensional array. Let's look into this with an example. So in the Excel, let's go to one-dimensional array. That's one more sheet. Here, if you look into that, I'm storing totally 5 integer values. 5 integer values. The array length is 5, but the array size is 5, but the index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we can refer each and every element in the array using an index. We can refer each and every element in the array using an index. Means, suppose if I'd like to access 50, the index is 4. The array name, suppose for example, the array name is say ARR, then how do we access the value of 50 or our square brackets, and we have to put say 4 to access the value of 50. So we always refer to the index. Index in arrays always starts with 0. This is very important point. If the length of the array is 5, the index starts from 0 to 4 to access these values. So let's create one program to understand this concept very well. Okay, I created a package day2. What is a package? We'll discuss in the next classes, but just created a package now. I'm creating one program under this package. Just create one program as array one-dimensional array 1d.java. Now let's create a main method. Okay, let me do one thing. Let's create a main method. Control space. Once you write a main method, control space, hit the control space bar button in the keyboard. Automatically this will be expanded. Now we can write an array. So let's say, what is the syntax of an array? Data type, array name, square brackets equal to new, array name and size. This is mandatory. We have to provide. So now let's try to minimize the package explorer and save it. Let's try to minimize the console as well so that we can discuss now. So let's try to initialize the array. Initialization. Suppose I wanted to create an array to store marks of a student. Marks. It's called initialization. Suppose I want to store 5 values or 6 values. Marks equal to new int of 6. So we are going to initialize an array and we are going to assign the value, assign the size. Okay, let's do one thing. This is called declaration. Just do one thing. This is declaration of an array. This is where we are initializing the array. Declaration of the array is int marks. We're just declaring the array. We're not assigning the size. But here, initialization, we're just trying to initialize the value, the size of the array. Now, how do we store the values? Suppose, for example, if you want to store the values, first, if you wanted to access the array, you have to use index marks of 0. First, let's store the values, say 10. Suppose you wanted to print the value stored at a particular index, then we can just use 4 and we can say marks of 0. Similarly, suppose if you wanted to store a value, marks of 1 equal to 20, and we can even print, say, marks of 2. This is one way of storing the values. We store the values once we declare and initialize the size of the array. We store the values and we try to print and see the content here. Suppose, for example, I'm not storing the value. I'm just trying to print. What will happen in this case? Let's see that as well. I'm not storing the value in the case of marks of 2, but I'm just trying to print. What will be the value? The value will be the default value of the integer data type will be printed. The default value of the integer data type is 0. The value will be printed for the line number 21 is 0. For line number 15 is 10. For line number 19, the value is 20. For line number 21, the value is 0. Always, when I talk about line numbers, it means I'm talking about here. It is very important. In Eclipse, we always need to focus on the line numbers. If any one of you who doesn't have these line numbers, let me erase. Yeah, if anyone doesn't have the line numbers here, just right click here. You will find here show line numbers will be selected, then only this will be shown. Suppose I deselected this, you will not have line numbers. Line numbers are very important to understand at which line number this is getting executed. So let me add the line numbers in the Eclipse now. I click, just say add the line numbers, show the line numbers. Now if I try to execute this program, right click on the program, run as Java application, we get the output as 10, 20, 0. This is one way of declaration of an array, and initialization of the array and assignment of the values like this. But can we do all these things in one line of statement? We declare, we initialize the array with the values. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible. We can do like that also. How we can do is like say int the salary equal to say 2,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000. So what we have done here, instead of we declare it separately, initialize it separately, we just do it in one line of statement, and also we assign the values as well. If we know the values, when you declare an array, if you know the values, you just try to declare the array like this and put it in curly braces and just add the values. Now, suppose if you would like to print 40,000, so what we can say system.out.println, okay, the value of salary stored at index 2 is sal of, because index 0, 1, 2. The length of the array is 3. How do you print the length of the array? If you would like to print the length of the array, we can say that as here the length of the array is sal dot length. We just use length, we can get the outcome here as totally 3. But if you like to print 40,000, we have to use index as 2 because index in the arrays starts with 0. So let me execute this program and see the outcome. So we have seen two different ways of declaration and assignment of the values in the case of array. So if you see here, the value of the salary stored at index 2 is 40,000. The value of the length of the array is 3. Here it is not this one. It's not like 2,40,000. Mainly here the index, after index 2 we have to give some space. Then when we try to print, we'll not get confused here. The value of the salary stored at index 2 is 40,000. The length of the array is 3. Okay, this is the example about one-dimensional array. Let's get into two-dimensional array. In the case of two-dimensional array, let's get into the next sheet. The case of two-dimensional array, you see here, we are going to store these values. Say employee number, employee ID 1, the salary is 25,000. Employee ID 2, the salary is 40,000. Employee ID 3, the salary is 50,000. Suppose if you would like to store these values into array, let's try to understand what is the row index, what is the column index. The representation of the row index and column index is shown here. You can see the row index is 0, 1, 2. The column index is 0, 1. If you would like to get a specific value, suppose for example, if you are interested to fetch this value, what is the row index? The row index is 2. The column index is 1. So we are going to fetch the value of 50,000 by using 2, 1. Okay, so this is how you can fetch a particular value using a row index and a column index. Now, let's look into one more example. Suppose if you would like to store, say 3, if you would like to store, say employee ID, salary, and also the tax. Suppose the tax is deducted here is 10%. If you want to store the tax also which is getting deducted, then how do we store? Here you are storing in row index as 0, 1, 2 and column index 0, 1, 2. And how do we refer? Suppose if you would like to refer 4,000, the row index is 1, the column index is 2, 1, 2 will help us to fetch 4,000. Then 5,000, 2, 2. Then 2,500, 0, 2. So the row index is fixed. The row index is fixed. Only the column index is changing. See here, 0, 1, 2. So here 0, 0, the row index is fixed. 0, 1, the row index is fixed. 0, 2, the row index is fixed and the column index is 2. So to read any value in a two-dimensional array, we require row index and the column index to fetch a particular value. So let's look into the example now. Let me create an example for this. So day 2, select new class array, two-dimensional array. Now let's create a main method, then two-dimensional array. Say integer, say employee details we are storing, new equal to new integer. Say I am saying here as totally 3 rows and 2 columns. Why 3 rows and 2 columns? Because we are representing this one now, 3 rows and 2 columns. So to store the values, how do we store the values? Employee of 0, 1, 0, 0 equal to 1. Employee of 0, 1 equal to 25,000. Right? So we are storing 0, 0 as 1, 0, 1 as 25,000. Let's try to print. How do we print the values now? So the value stored at index 0, row index 0 and column index 1 is 25. You can just give it employee 0, 1. That's it. So we get the outcome here. Let me execute the program now. Right? The value stored at the row index 0 and column index 1 is 25,000. Suppose, for example, I don't store the value at a particular row index and a column index. Let's take any row index and column index where we didn't store the value. Suppose let's try to print value stored at particular the row index. So row index we are giving as 1. And the column index also we are giving 1, but we are not storing any value at a particular row index and column index, which is 1, 1. Let's see what will happen now. Employee 1, 1. So what is the outcome now? As I mentioned previously also, whenever we don't store any value in an array, the default value of the data type will be into consideration. So in that case, when you print here, the value is 0. Okay. So if you don't store any value, by default 0 will be stored, and if you print, we get the value as 0. Okay. Now suppose, for example, we are accessing a particular row index and column index which is not at all available. Means suppose we are accessing, say, the value stored row index, say 2. So 2 is also there. Let's take row index 2 is, let's take row index 3, and column index, say we have column index as 0, 1, we'll give 2 here. We're accessing a row index and column index which is not available. So let's see the outcome now. What is the outcome here? At the line number 14, let's see what is the outcome if you execute this program. Run as the application. So we get the error, we get the exception. Actually, we call this as an exception. The exception is java.lang. Java.lang is a package. Array index out of bounds exception. This is a class name. We got this exception because we are accessing a row index which is 3, not available. And this is referring to the package name. Day2 is the package name. Array2d is the class name. MAIN is the main method. In the main method, in the line number 14, we are getting this exception. Yes, that's it. Okay, so this is how we need to understand and how do we store the values like this. Now let's do one more thing. Let's take one more example to understand arrays. So the example is, how do we find the square of a number? Square of a number, square of numbers. Just mention square of numbers. So let's write down the objective here. The objective is where we calculate the square of numbers from 0 to 9 stored in an array. This is the program. Calculate the square of numbers, square of the numbers from 0 to 9 and store in an array. That is our objective. So what we can do for that reason, what we do mainly, we say here int square, int of 10, because 0 to 9 we are saying 10. So now square of 0 equal to 0 into 0. Square of 1 equal to 1 into 1. Square of 2. So we're doing step by step here. But if you are trying to identify the square of 0 to 9, we are trying to write down each and every statement. This will take a lot of time. That is the reason, if you are trying to do the same activity of trying to find the square of a particular number, we should go for loops. So we are going to discuss what are loops in the next class. But if you would like to identify the square of each and every number, if you don't know the loops concept, you have to manually type like this: square of 3 is equal to 3 into 3. And how do you print? You are printing, suppose for example, you are printing say square of 3. What is the outcome here? You are getting the outcome as 9, because we are storing 3 into 3 as 9 here. And let me execute this program now. What is the outcome? So if you don't know the loops concept, what is happening here? We're trying to store each and every value step by step. Suppose you are trying to find the square of 100 numbers from 0 to 99, right? Then again, you have to type each and every statement. But if you know the loops concept, it will be very easy for us. Okay, so mainly this is about arrays. Very important point which we need to remember is, the case of arrays, what is the important point which we have to remember here is, there is a length is available in the array. Suppose for example, salary dot length. Similarly, let's try to find the length of two-dimensional array. The length of two-dimensional array here, in this we are getting an exception. The length of two-dimensional array here. What is the two-dimensional array? If you see here, the row index and column index, if you multiply, whatever is the outcome is the length of the two-dimensional array. The length of the two-dimensional array is two-dimensional array is employee dot length, the array name dot length, that gives the information of the number of elements we can store in an array. That is 3 into 6, the length of the two-dimensional array. Right, the length of the two-dimensional array here, actually why we are getting it is here, the length here, it is taking the row index into consideration. Why? Because we are trying to focusing on a specific row and trying to get the values of a particular column. Means what we have to do here is, suppose for example, employee of, say, employee of A0. What is happening? I am specifically accessing a particular row index. For a row index, you have two column values. So employee 0 dot length. So what do we get as outcome? We are going to get 2. Let's see. 2. So what is happening? How it is getting represented? The representation is, when you say employee dot length, let me try to do one thing. Totally the length is 6. But if you try to print here employee dot length, we get as 3. The reason being, there are 3 rows and each and every row has two values. 3 into 2, 6. So now let me do one thing. You take this one and I can just put it here. Try to multiply it. You get the length of the two-dimensional array. See now? 6. How come it got 6? Because employee.length, when you take length into consideration, it is considering only the 3 rows, but each and every row has a column. 2 columns are associated, so you can take into consideration as employee.length, which gives 3 here, and employee 0.length, which gives 2. 3 into 2 is 6. This is the size of the two-dimensional array. Suppose, for example, if I'm giving 4 into 5, what happens? Employee.length is 4, and each and every row has 5 values. The length is 20 here. So this is how you have to calculate and get the specific value. And the representation also very simple. The representation is, suppose if you look into that, when I say employee, when I say two-dimensional array length, it will take 3 here, but each and every row contains 2 values. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, totally 6 values we have to consider in the case of array, in the case of two-dimensional array. Now, as I mentioned already, in the squares, identify the square of a specific number from 0 to 9. We are not able to complete. Why? Because we have to keep on writing this statement 9 times or 10 times manually. But if you know loops concept, this example is very easy. So we will come back to the example definitely in the case of loops concept in Java. I think we completed what we are planning today. Arrays we completed, one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, examples also we have seen. That's it for today's topics. We are done, and if you try to like my video, please subscribe and share. Thanks for watching this video.